shocking reaction from the King and Queen of Spain to Alcaraz's victory. The King and Queen of Spain also did not want to miss the emotional moment that has increased Spaniards' pride following the extraordinary achievement that crowned Carlos Alcaraz as the winner of the Australian Open. At just 22 years old, Carlos Alcaraz is a living legend of world sport. Born and raised in Murcia, the famous tennis player made history this Sunday, February 1, during the Australian Open final, under the watchful eyes of his predecessor, the also renowned tennis player Rafa Nadal. His remarkable legacy was crowned just hours ago when the Murcian was proclaimed champion of the prestigious tournament after defeating Serbia's Novak Djokovic. A victory that was far from predictable, as Alcaraz had started the match in a disastrous manner against the Djokovic legend. However, the Serbian's relentless play eventually gave way to the ferocity of Carlitos, who claimed his first triumph in Melbourne. This achievement was celebrated worldwide, with the news spreading like wildfire and dominating headlines and media front pages. And at just 22 years old, Carlos Alcaraz has become the youngest player ever to complete a career Grand Slam. A milestone that could not go unnoticed by the royal household. The emotional congratulations from the royal family. This historic moment also reached the Spanish royal family, who did not hesitate to celebrate the Spanish player's victory. And rightly so. The player from El Palmar, Murcia, now has all 4 Grand Slams in his trophy cabinet: the US Open, Wimbledon, Roland Garros, and now Australia. A statement that alone defines the ferocity with which Alcaraz competes on the tennis court. For this reason, the royal household, through its official Instagram account, sent a heartfelt message to the Murcian player, the reward for never giving up, the youngest tennis player in history to achieve all 4 Grand Slams, they wrote on social media. They also thanked him for continuing to write the history of Spanish sport. Without a doubt, emotional words from King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia that must have meant a great deal to the celebrated athlete. His close and discreet relationship with King Felipe. The first time the King and Queen met Carlos Alcaraz face-to-face was after his first major victory in 2022, when he was crowned US Open champion. During a private audience at Zarzuela Palace, the Murcian built a close bond, especially with the son of King Juan Carlos I. Subsequently, this close relationship has become evident through the monarch's courtside support from the stands at Wimbledon 2023 and Roland Garros 2025. Without a doubt, a true talisman for Alcaraz's victories. But perhaps the most striking revelation was the confirmation that King Felipe exchanges private messages with the tennis player at every step of his sporting career. This was confirmed by Alcaraz's agent, Albert Molina. Apparently, Alcaraz often steps aside from everyone else to speak privately, exchanging words of encouragement and showing the greatest support for the sporting idol. Without a doubt, a series of moments that, every time they occur, become something truly special and inspiring for the athlete. Alcaraz responds to his critics after winning the Australian Open. After his coronation in Melbourne, Carlos Alcaraz revealed to Eurosport Spain how he overcame doubts and criticism to win his first title in Australia, thus completing his collection of Grand Slams. In an interview with Eurosport Spain after his Australian Open victory, Carlos Alcaraz spoke, among other things, about the people who doubted him. He stated, "I remember those who told me I wouldn't make it, that I would come here only to lose in the quarterfinals. I remember those who didn't believe in me, but I didn't come here to prove anything to anyone. I came here with a firm intention of proving to myself that I could overcome all the obstacles." He also referred to the Australian Open, the only Grand Slam he was missing and his main objective each season. "It's crazy. At the end of every season, I always said that my goal for the following year was the Australian Open. This required a lot of work, a lot of effort, and a lot of dedication." The Serbian laments the missed opportunity against the Spaniard in Australia. "I don't know if I will ever play another Grand Slam final," Novak Djokovic admitted, while also expressing pride. "I lost to a player who is already legendary." For the first time in 11 finals, Novak Djokovic did not emerge victorious at the Australian Open. The Serbian once again delivered a masterclass in passion for tennis, competitive hunger, effort, and endurance. He set off alarm bells by winning a flawless first set, but Carlos Alcaraz woke up in time, and the Balkans' energy dropped. Even so, he fought hard in the fourth set, but it was not enough to prevent the Spaniard's first title in Melbourne, 2-6, 6-2, 6-3, 7-5. There will always be the question of what might have happened had the match gone to a fifth set. Nevertheless, Novak Djokovic's 2 weeks at the Australian Open deserve nothing but admiration. At 38 years old, the Belgrade native has shown that he still has the strength, tennis, and desire to continue competing head-to-head with Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. However, his post-match press conference revealed his disappointment with the drop in intensity during the second and third sets, something Djokovic himself admits he can no longer control. He also took the opportunity to praise Carlos Alcaraz and take pride in his 2 weeks in Melbourne. After an intense battle in the 2026 Australian Open final, Novak Djokovic could not hide his disappointment. With a calm face but a clearly wounded heart, the Serbian confessed that this defeat tasted particularly bitter. It was not just another final. It was his return to a Grand Slam final after 3 years, and at 36 years old, he knew that this opportunity might not come again. "I was sharp, focused, and I started in a phenomenal way," he said, acknowledging that destiny had given him a chance, one that slipped away this time. The match, however, took an unexpected turn. Djokovic explained it without excuses, but with brutal honesty. Things changed, the energy faded, and control slipped through his fingers like water. Even so, he did not hesitate to congratulate Carlos Alcaraz for what he described as an extraordinary historic achievement. He accepted the will of a God who, in his words, always knows what he is doing. Although he finds it difficult to fully open up, he says he is grateful for everything he is beyond tennis. Trying to understand what happened from the second set onward, Novak carried out both a technical and emotional analysis. He admitted that his serve lost consistency, errors began to creep in, and pressure affected him. He also revealed that health factors influenced his performance and that the sudden drop in energy frustrated him even more than the result itself. What hurt him the most was not being able to sustain the intensity he had shown at the start. That first set, according to him, was among the best he has played in recent years. Everything was perfect, he was in control, flowing, feeling the ball. But suddenly, as if an invisible shadow had fallen over his game, everything changed. "I simply couldn't anymore. I wasn't myself," he confessed. Despite everything, he is proud of the fight, the effort, and of having given everything against the world number one. Regarding Alcaraz, Djokovic spared no praise. He said that facing him is both a pleasure and a challenge. He compared him to the best rivals of his career and highlighted his ability to force you to bring out your best version. "For a set and a half, I did," he recalled, "but then everything changed and he deserved to win." Words that carry great weight coming from Novak. Reflecting on the entire tournament, Novak also wanted to highlight the positives. He recalled his 5-set victory over Jannik Sinner and how close he came to defeating Alcaraz. He is disappointed, yes, but also satisfied with how far he went. "I always believe that I can," he said, making it clear that the flame of ambition still burns inside him. What bothered him most was not taking advantage of the opportunity he had in the 4th set. With the crowd fully behind him, he had a crucial break point at 4-4, but a missed forehand changed the course of the match. "1 or 2 shots can completely change the dynamics of a match," he lamented. And although he knows that dwelling on the what-ifs is useless, he could not stop those thoughts from circling his mind after the match. Even so, he was not surprised by Alcaraz's dominant start. He knows him well, his tactical intelligence and his ability to adapt. He knew Carlos would change things and raise his level, and although he tried to do the same, his body did not respond equally. He regained energy in the 4th set, fought, came close. But it was not enough. It was not meant to be this time. Djokovic also wanted to be fair about his run at this Australian Open. He appreciated the conditions that allowed him to reach the final fresher, such as not having to play the 4th round. And although it is hard for him to smile after such a defeat, he acknowledged that it was a fantastic tournament. "I took one step forward compared to last year's Grand Slams," he said, but immediately added that this step is still not enough for him. His desire to achieve a 25th Grand Slam title remains intact. He says he has the belief, confidence, and vision to achieve it. He has lowered his expectations in recent years, which has helped him deal with pressure. Interestingly, he now finds motivation in not always being the favorite. Beating Sinner, the defending champion, in 5 sets was a great personal victory. "But you're asking me this 10 minutes after losing a final," he said frankly, "so of course I'm bitter." What he wants most now is to return home. To be surrounded by his loved ones. He knows how to handle these emotions. He has played many finals, won many, lost others, and he understands the mental process that follows each battle. But nothing soothes quite like the warmth of home. Finally, he had very special words for Carlos Alcaraz. He called him a legend of tennis, someone who has already left an indelible mark at just 22 years old. He highlighted his character, his values, his family, and above all, his champion's mentality. Alcaraz never settles, he is always looking to innovate and improve. He has the complete package, Novak concluded, humbly acknowledging that this time, his best version was not enough against the Spanish phenomenon.